Garage Guys Fantasy Sports. Just had to make sure you could hear it. We're out here in the Coke Lot, Indianapolis, Indiana, Speedway Indiana for the Indy 500. And tonight, one night only, 7 p.m. in the Coke Lot, the Flip Cup 500, Garage Guys Flip Cup 500. Winner gets $200. Tell your friends, tell your families, tell your grandmas. They can come out too. Who cares? It's Garage Guys. I got Dale Tanhardt, Johnny Rockets, the Garage Guy himself, and Chris Ross. He actually made this. Welcome back to the Inside Tailgating weekend wrap-up of the Indianapolis 500, the Indy 500. Me, Garage Guy, joined with
Dale Tanhardt,
the greatest NASCAR best better on the planet or the universe. We're universal now.
I was gonna let up a little bit, but you had to do it for me, which is fine. It sounded okay.
You had a little sweep. this weekend.
Yeah, I'm looking at the broom on the floor. Did a lot of work with that broom. Courtesy of Charlotte Motor Speedway. Shout out to the Coca-Cola 600, all those races going on down in the North Carolina. Shout out to beautiful shitty coolers. The liquor basket is what they call it.
It's
had
pretty.
A lot of eyes on this. It pops. It pops while it's on my back, all around the campgrounds. Drunk people trying to offer to buy it. You'll have plenty of opportunities to buy these babies coming up. Beautiful beer soap, partnered with Dale Sr., the strawberry beer flavored soap, insane. Who would come up with that?
It Duke Cannon.
Bold. The packaging is bold, and just like Dale Sr., also bold. Bold paint scheme, bold driver, bold soap.
I love the way it smells. It smells good.
You had to just pour it out. I had to pour it out on your face.
I had to.
Love it.
I love it, man. Duke Cannon soap, and also every bar that's bought benefits veterans as well. So it's a great thing.
Shout out Memorial Day weekend.
Heck
Couldn't
yeah.
do what we do without the veterans. Love America.
That's right. Freedom isn't free. So it's a good thing. So let's start off this weekend here in Indianapolis, which I also found out is there's another little dimension or portal inside of Indianapolis called Speedway that is like a town that pops up during race week. What a crazy experience this was compared to our normal weekends in NASCAR. I was honestly blown away by the race. There was a lot of events that went down. We got here a little bit earlier than normal this week because we had an ACL event as well. We're going to talk all about that. But initial thoughts off the jump when we first got here. First thing I noticed, like you said, you've been coming here for, 11 years now. So this is my first time in Indy. The first thing I had to say is it does not get dark here. I thought we were in Alaska for a moment because it was 9 o'clock, sun was still in the sky. How? Can you care to put on your Scientologist or meteorologist hat?
No,
what does that even mean?
I'm not a tinfoil hat guy, so I'm not going to go there.
Is it a conspiracy that the sun was up at 9?
No, it's just real.
So no tinfoil hats needed.
No tinfoil hats needed. No, so like you said, it's been about 10 years since I've been coming up here, and it was so funny listening to your reaction when I was trying to just get your overall assessment of everything just when we were pulling up to the beautiful Kroger parking lot. Wednesday night.
Shout out to Kroger.
And you're just like, this is a dimension. This isn't even real. When we were pulling down Main Street and Speedway, because like you said, of course it's called Speedway because it's a whole community around the racetrack. It's so cool. Speedway, Main Street, a lot of different cool things you can do. Breweries, go-karts, a lot of nice little restaurants, little old pubs, a barber shop, an AJ Foyt winery.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much to do down there. I mean, it gives you that at-home feeling, especially shout out to the Mississippi, Louisiana. Gives you the at-home feeling, like that small town little deal. But there's so much going on. It's crazy. You can go downtown Indianapolis, Indiana, get the Austin, Texas like experience that we got last week. But around the track is really where it's at.
Yeah, it's we have a thing back home called the Washington Parish Free Fair, and it's like there's like all these buildings that are just unused for an entire year. It's like that's how I felt like Speedway Indiana was. So it's like it's kind of just it's a festive area. Did love the fact that like all the houses around they decorate for it. You yourself called it the Mardi Gras of the North. It definitely has like the vibe as far as like the people and how they connect to it, putting the flags out, having things like that. So I can definitely see that. But it's like a festival. And for it to be a race is even better, and like obviously one of the most prestigious races in all of America,
in the world.
So we're gonna get on to that. Let's kick it off though. Wednesday, like you said, went to the beautiful Kroger parking lot, stayed there, just kind of prepared for the weekend. Went and ate at Big Woods. Great restaurant in Speedway, Indiana. So if you're coming down at any point to the Indy 500, do camping or whatever, make sure you stop by Big Woods. Great restaurant, good place, good food.
2 days in a row we went there.
2 days in a row.
Delicious.
I think our guy Chris Ross got the same thing twice.
He did.
Was so nice he got it twice.
Yep.
All right.
Pepper bacon ranch burger, I think is what it was.
Yeah.
I got it once. It was good.
I tried pulled pork and wings. That was good. Also good tailgating foods as well. So that went down. Thursday, we wake up. It was time for the ACL event, the Cornament of Champions. Had some big names attending that one. Alexander Rossi, James Hinchcliffe. We had George Steinbrenner the fourth, and Kenny Moore, who plays for the Indianapolis Colts. They showed up, and it was a great event. It was at the Daredevil Brewing Company on Speedway IM, which was an excellent facility, great lawn that they had out on their brewery. They had a restaurant you can eat there. Literally, their own brews are brewed right there inside.
Race day beer.
Race day beer.
Race day tall boy beer.
Didn't get to drink it. Should make it in a version maybe.
Yep.
But
it's got good flavor. Not gonna lie.
It looked great. It looked great. And all of the proceeds and everything that went to benefit Gigi's Playhouse. So always good to do some philanthropy and anything we can do to help out in any way, shape, or form. So always great to see that. It was on network television. So it was the NBC app, I think.
Yeah, it was the NBC. Yeah, it was their sports streaming app.
Peacock.
Shout out to the cornhole professionals that hung out with us and were so gracious.
Yeah.
Matt Guy, the TB12. Shout out to TB12.
Tom Brady of cornhole.
Allison Peters, Christine Papke, Frank Modlin. Those guys are insane at throwing bags and holes. I mean, it's just. I know that I sound like I undermined it, but no, there's so much to it. These guys are insane.
You got to check them out on social media too. Follow them on TikTok if you want any more information about them. It's everywhere. It's there. They're all online. They all do this stuff, and it's like crazy to watch how they go from just a sport that you play at the tailgate and they made it for a professional deal. Some of the things they can do are just absolutely insane. I think that Matt was actually showing us a video where he took 5 bags in one hand. With one throw, all 5 go in to the hole.
Insane.
It's nuts.
I don't even know how to describe it other than what you just said.
It's nuts.
It's just I don't get it.
But shout out, I think it was I want to say it was it Matt Guy and George Steinbrenner that won that tournament?
That is correct.
Believe so. So yeah. Obviously, George was a cool guy, too. It was cool talking with George a little bit, too, for him to be as young as he is and doing the things that he's doing, things
Very
that he's
impressive.
running. Very
absolutely impressive.
Yeah, a lot of good vibes and a lot of respect for that guy. So going from there, we ended up hanging out. I think we shout out to Daredevil Brewing Company because that was the next place that we were big chilling. So we chilled there, and then Friday was when it all began.
A lot of rain. Was not fun. That feels like it was an eternity ago. It's so weird.
This is the longest trip we've had.
So Friday was, we talked about it in Austin. We dealt with so much rain and wind. And the same thing applies here, Indy 500 camping. These people have been bottled up for 2 years, since 2019, have not been here. Rain, sun, doesn't matter. Hurricane, tornado, lightning. These people are here to party, and they're going to party no matter what, and that's what it was on Friday.
Yeah.
I think it hurt the traffic a little bit. More people flowed in on Saturday, but
yeah.
Friday was still lit. A lot of good camping experience out here, even with rain.
I've got to say this much. Just from the jump, as soon as we pulled in, the first thing I thought of was Talladega, Alabama. Indy 500 is very similar to camping in Talladega, and that's what I've realized.
And yeah, I've phrased this a couple different ways. You said I phrased it as a Mardi Gras of the North. Mm-hmm. Also can call it, or we're in the Midwest technically.
The Dega of another series.
The Dega of the Midwest.
Yeah.
The Dega, yeah. Midwest Dega. That's what this is.
If it's got 500 on it, it's probably close. If it's got big campgrounds, it's even closer.
The positive about Dega is that it's all well, you can have fun outside the track, but the big part of Dega is it's all like all the crazy stuff happens on one tiny little spot on the boulevard. While at Indianapolis, Indiana, you just have craziness that stretches for like a 3-mile span. I mean, it's insane. You can drive around wherever and find absolute madness at different campgrounds.
You have a campground. You have a portal inside of a town. You have an actual town. Then you have a city. So there's all kinds of areas. Broad Ripple is another area that we got to check out. So that is the big difference from like Alabama is that when you go into Talladega, you only have this pop-up of like this trailer park that turns into a subdivision basically out by this huge track. Here, you have a little bit of everything. So it is really cool to see. You know, you want to go out downtown, check that experience out. You do that. Go to Broad Ripple, check that out. Great. Come back to the Coke lot, still going. Some guy is sitting naked at a fire probably, drinking beer. Okay, toes are dug into the ground, and he's probably thinking he's somewhere on some beach. Has no idea where he's at. That's the vibe of the Coke lot.
Wake up confused the next day is the vibe of the Coke
Big
lot.
time.
Then Saturday.
Oh, man.
The Flip Cup 500.
The Garage Guys Flip Cup 500 was a success. Inside Tailgating, Duke, Cannon, and the ACL. You guys, if it wasn't for you guys, it wouldn't have happened. Okay, so big shout out to them. But we woke up that morning and we were like, we knew we wanted to do something. We knew we had to get something popping. We wanted to get the Coke lot going. Everybody was just kind of like on their own, doing their own thing. I think this was like the first time that we've put together an event that brought a lot of people together, and it was just electric. It was just pure electricity.
16-team, single elimination Flip Cup tournament. So that's 64 players, but I think at the peak of people that came to watch and just saw the buzz, maybe a couple hundred people, just tight in one area at our peak. It was so much fun. We'll have more on that later and more videos to come.
Might have a whole video on that.
Yes, keep a lookout on our channels on Inside Tailgating, Garage Guys, Fancy Sports. It's hard to describe. I mean, it was just smile how crazy it was.
You imagine a bunch of people just coming together, all wild, having a good time, dressed in millions of different ways, coming up with some of the cringiest of names for their teams,
which we encouraged.
We did encourage it a little bit, yes. And just having a ball. We literally, like, I had jetted out 2 hours before, got like an expo board, more cups, and we literally got to give away a prize and a trophy, which was the expo board. So it was cool. So I definitely want to be able to put together more events like that. And then also too, we had our guys Todd McComas, Sean Latham. They were with us all week. And the $20 Chef and Todd, great guys. Learned a ton from them and just had a blast with them. Really, just doing content. Sean just was cooking up for us. Like didn't even have a need to get the grill out. Just taking care of business, and that was on Friday when the rain was there, and Saturday too, even with the Flip Cup. And then we had our guy, I guess we can call him our guy now, Matt Mitrione shows up. I had never really got to know much about Matt Mitrione, was never really big into the UFC scene. Such a great dude. Just like great time, loves to have fun, just big vibes.
MMA legend Matt Mitrione. One of the coolest guys I've ever met. I mean,
taught us a ton. Insane.
Shout out to Sean and Todd. Those guys were awesome. It was really cool to meet them and work with them and see what they did. Yeah. Sean was cooking up the food, and it was fire. Absolute gas, dude. That
dude can cook, bro. Dude, it's not just BS. He knows what's up. And also too, you got to give another thanks to Matt, because now if you were ever trapped in an alley, I have extra confidence now that I could probably just completely just kick ass, like, and just destroy who was ever trying to track the Dale boy. So, like, I'd be there. So, Matt taught me a lot of cool techniques. Like, I feel a little bit closer to being, like, like 30 years away from being an MMA fighter.
And he kicked you in the thigh. Built that skin. Built more strength in the bones.
This leg right here, stronger than ever. Okay? And that's what it takes, to be a champion. I learned that. I think we both learned that this weekend. As far as we're already champions at betting on NASCAR. So it's like now we can be champions in life. as well.
Got to be a champion at IndyCar soon. We got to get more in IndyCar. I did not. Scott Dixon lost my retirement fund. Thank goodness. I doubled that retirement fund on Kyle Larson later that night. So
See,
it's okay.
I was a little bit smarter. I didn't. I decided not to go the route of betting on the Indy 500. I went as just a guy that wanted to watch the cars go. So
there you go.
Without further ado, I mean, I think it's time for us to talk about Sunday. So Sunday was a blur. It was a rush because everything was just like stacking up, and then that's how race day always is, though. It's like you've been partying, having a good time, and then race day gets here. It's like, oh, we got to get up, we got to go, like we got things to do.
It was hard to get up that morning. A couple of us got up. I got up for a moment and said, nope, I'm going back to sleep. I still only got about 3 hours worth of rest, and it was a quick rush to get to the racetrack in time for the festivities and the pre-race ceremonies at Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the 500. The race itself is unlike anything, but the pre-race ceremony is unlike anything. Back home again in Indiana, the national anthem. They do so much. I mean, it's like an hour-long festivity deal because it's the 105th running.
We're grateful.
One of the biggest events on earth, and I think it's the biggest racing event on earth, paired with Formula One at Monaco. So. The race itself was pretty exciting. I think they debuted a new aero package last year with the aero screen to protect the drivers' heads. It's kind of hurt passing a little bit, but there was much more passing this year than there was last year, and the finish was phenomenal. 2 laps ago, Elio Castroneves, old man Elio, wins his 4th Indy 500 with the last lap pass on a young gun, Alex Palou. It was insane. The crowd.
Elio!
It just insane. Spider-Man. They call him Spider-Man because he climbs the fence after he wins, and he climbed the fence. And we didn't even talk about how there's 135,000 people at least in that stadium, and the energy was just phenomenal. I mean, it was insane. It was so normal feeling to be back at just that kind of energy, excitement. Indiana loves Elio Castroneves too, so it was just explosive.
It literally reminded me of like what it was like or what it would have been like to like go to the Coliseum like back in the Roman days where they would fight like a lion and a man. The way that the crowd sounded, it was just in unison, just like of a cheer, and it was that vibe. Walking into that place was automatically thrown off because of like the way it looks like when you're on Speedway, when you first get there, it's like, oh, it's just kind of like this really open, weird-looking racetrack. But then when you actually get into the nitty-gritty of going around the track, getting where you need to go, I learned there was a golf course that was there. And I'm like, there's a golf course here? Like, what? Then we get into the track, and I think you were a little blown away by what caught me the most. There were trees. There were trees in the infield. I was just like, what?
I mean, do you not? What I try to explain to people, the biggest thing is when you walk into the stadium and you get to your seats.
The track, we should call it probably.
It's how
they might get
massive,
mad at us here in Indy.
How massive the place is. You've been to Daytona, even to Talladega, and you think
it's right there with it.
You think those places are big? They're really not close to Indianapolis. It is.
No.
It is so massive, and I'll never forget walking in for the first time and just the scale. It just like. It almost scared me how big it was.
It's the Disney World.
Like
It's the Disney World of racetracks. That's one of the best ways to say, I guess, because of how huge it is. It just looks like you could go there for like a weekend with your family. It's like a resort, almost. They just need cabins in the infield by the trees now. But no, from that, I guess like when we finally got in there and we met up with you guys, the thing like seeing the trees, whatever, yeah, it was great. Trees are cool. They make oxygen. We breathe. We're alive. You better watch it. Trees are what keeps you here, buddy.
But like out of everything, you're just like trees. I'm like,
no.
Hey, look at the pagoda. Like look at the track. How wide it is. Trees.
Big tree guy. So then I see the cars coming. That was the moment where it all hit me because we go to these races. I'm so used to seeing these stock cars just make their runs. They look so small. These cars looked giant. They looked ginormous from being even up as high as we were. I was like, what are these super machines? I felt like I was in the movie Speed Racer, and we were like in the year 3000. It was nuts. These cars looked so incredibly badass. and the open wheelness of them is just insane. The fact that these guys were whipping around at 230 miles an hour, watching how their entry points were and how quickly, like, you blink and they already have made like 3 different moves. And just the sound, it's a little bit easier on the ears, but I was explaining to our guy Cody when we were out there that when you're in a NASCAR race, you feel it shake you. It's like a shaking sound. It's like, it doesn't really pierce you, but it just like overtakes you. You know, here it was like a dagger. It was like a herd of like hornets coming and just stinging you.
I like that comparison.
Yeah.
I'm so used to those cars; they just don't even hurt my ears. NASCARs are just tanks, man. They're just tanks.
They are.
I mean, just to sum up, it's a 5-day tailgate. The Indy 500 is a 5-day tailgate.
It really
There's
is.
nothing like it. Just absolute madness, fun, insanity. Any word to describe in just a crazy way, and that's how these people are. That's how this community is, and
it's something everybody needs to experience. Everyone needs to experience this. That's coming from a guy that's primarily NASCAR. He's been telling me about it. I'm like, yeah, we'll see. It's something you need to experience. If you're going to come and stay here, you're going to tailgate the race, camp the race, whatever, it has to be the Coke Lot. It is worth it. It is the full experience.
Lot 1C.
1C.
Specifically. Lot 1C.
1C. It's a party. It's a vibe. The whole town is great. And then after the race on Sunday, we watched the 600. That was awesome. We hit our bets again. Cup bets are riding on. Obviously, he does all 3 series. I do Cup. Larson was the play, and I got to grill yesterday. So that was the beauty too. Is that like we got to end it all on a sweet note. I got the pit boss out, the pellet grill. Got to as Mark Zuckerberg would say, I got to smoke some meats. Yesterday we had some burgers, hot dogs. It was great. Just a great time, great weekend, great experience, and can't wait to get back and rolling to see what's up with an all-star race in Texas now.
I'm going to miss this place. It's so bittersweet when you pack up and leave. But, yeah, I'm excited for the next few weeks. The all-star race in 2 weeks from now, I think June 13th.
I believe
June 13th through 15th. Going to be a fun weekend. Never experienced Fort Worth before, so that'll be a new one for me.
Same. We hear a lot of flack about the Texas track. But we'll be the judges of that.
All we need to see is what the tailgating's like.
That's right.
I think the tailgating lifestyle of a Texas man is something we could jump on.
We need to probably get a smoker. We probably need to smoke a brisket for this one. That's what I'm thinking.
I think that's a good idea.
All right, we're gonna listen to a lot of Lone Star, smoke brisket.
What kind of alcohol do they drink? Is there a Texas alcohol?
I feel like they
Fireball?
just have like buckets of like just random alcohols, and they just scoop it and drink it because everything's bigger in Texas, so you might as well drink from a bucket.
Hey, let's just do it out of here. Let's get 100 of these.
Yeah, we're just gonna start pouring like liquor all into the shitty coolers and just the shitey coolers, for commercial purposes.
I got to get me a cowboy hat and maybe do a Lone Star up in here somewhere.
Yeah, we got to go full cowboy for this one. Rhinestone. You should be a rhinestone cowboy. That would be the best way for you to go, probably.
Like a rhinestone cowboy.
Like
baby.
a rhinestone cowboy. All right, it's going to be fun, and we'll see you guys. Enjoy it, and go to the Indy 500. Do it. It's worth it.
Bucket list. Knock it off the bucket list, baby.
Go ahead and just kick it off there. Kick it. Get it out of there. All right, this has been the Weekend Wrap-Up with Inside Tailgating. We'll see you guys again soon.